here at SEC Football Media Days, fresh off of his impressive 1 hour, 36-minute time at the Boilermaker 15K in Utica, New York. That is the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference, Greg Sankey. Commissioner, great to see you again. How are you?
I'm well. I think I've recovered from that run. I'm not quite as young as I used to be.
Hey, there's planning involved in this, and here in Dallas for many reasons, obviously Texas and Oklahoma, and you guys have explored Dallas for a while. But how about everything going on in DFW this week with everything Major League Baseball has going on in this huge event?
Remarkable, and to be out at the Home Run Derby and seeing guys played at University of Tennessee, for example, just been drafted down on the field with their new ball caps on, and we had sat behind Paul Skeens, and he took the mound last night. Just a neat connection, and we had picked the date before the All-Star game was announced, and then we had a little bit of a debate as a staff and said, you know what, it kind of elevates everything. And that's a big deal. This is a big deal. They're different. And so we ought to go in with the confidence that that's the right time to be in Dallas, and that's the right place for this 24 event.
You mentioned Tennessee baseball, and you referenced it Monday in your comments, and everything that's going so great with with the Southeastern Conference and the University of Tennessee getting that national championship in baseball. What was that like to see Tennessee cash in on that national championship, something they had not done in program history before, and represent the league?
Right. I was there for the championship series. The 3 games were, to me, phenomenal. All 3 games. You know, they went down to the end. That second game, there's a deep fly ball off an AM player's bat, and then that's evens up the series. And I just thought the atmosphere was outstanding. And I told Tony and Hoover to watch the Tennessee team this year, maybe compared to 2 years ago when they started off just so great and stayed that way. To watch the team improve was really impressive, and a credit to his leadership, to the coaches, to the leadership within the team. Then see what's happening around the program with the stadium, the way the fans engage, and that's just an encouraging aspect of what we all bring to this environment that we call the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, and then the support of other coaches being there, and that's so authentic with them. They do it all the time. I know that has to be gratifying for you as well.
It is, and you know what? There's rivalries, and not everybody's going to have everybody over for dinner, but there's a respect. And in fact, when I was right after Omaha, traveled to Austin. So when I was in Austin and Norman, and had a chance with their head coaches, and I say this to head coaches in the league repeatedly: my respect that they choose to be here. This is intense, it's competitive. There are high expectations, there are high rewards, high support, but you choose to be here and choose to challenge yourself at this level, and I have the utmost respect for that. So, congratulations to Tony and the Tennessee baseball team. It was, I had 2 teams in the championship
right.
series, so you're neutral, but always fun to see the celebration. In the moment where you have 2 SEC teams, you have one team that's just fallen a bit short, so you want to be respectful there, but also appreciate the achievement.
Joined by the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference, Greg Sankey, here on Sports Talk on 99.1 The Sports Animal. I'm Vince Ferrara. Speaking of the second SEC player ever in Cooperstown, Todd Helton from the University of Tennessee. What's that like to see the SEC add to that number?
It's outstanding. And when I was told, I saw the announcement, but I knew from Frank Thomas that he was the one. In fact, saw Frank and had a nice visit with him at the Home Run Derby Monday night. Like, wow, we are underappreciated at the Hall of Fame level. But that's an indication of how difficult it is. And I know Todd established himself in the University of Tennessee community and his impact at the majors, and then the recognition of the Cooperstown enshrinement is special. And I grew up about 2 hours from Cooperstown and have made several trips there when I was young and even as an adult. And of any Hall of Fame, that one you walk into and it's a wow moment. So congratulations to Todd and to everyone around him for the chance to celebrate that over the next few days, but to feature that wow moment for a University of Tennessee alum.
You referenced the renovations to Lindsey Nelson Stadium for baseball. What's it like to see some of these historic venues around the league in multiple sports, like Neyland Stadium, be modernized, the amenities, the comfort, the space, all those things to make it a more enjoyable fan experience.
It's needed because that's the expectation that exists, and you've watched our stadiums or our arenas be adjusted, some new spaces completely. And we actually brought a group to Wrigley Field last August. We invited athletics directors to attend, and depending on scheduling conflicts, and I had visited Wrigley, kind of the new Wrigley that's still old, respects traditions, and then how they position the opportunities for business relationships, for whether it's sales or different ways that people can use the facility, I thought was just magnificent. Like 3 years ago now, when I saw it, I'm like, I'd love for all of our athletics directors, as they think forward about their facilities planning, to see how Wrigley feels like Wrigley. Yet they've used space, they've created space behind the scenes, the 1914 club, how they created a locker room and all of the treatment areas and offices underneath a city street, so to modernize that part. But yeah, you sit there and you feel that somehow you're 100 years back in time. And not that every stadium needs to do that, but again, as we spend money on these facility reconstructions, how do you respect the past? How do you position yourself for the future? How do you activate to continue to generate revenue? Those things are fully on all of our minds, and I look forward to seeing what emerges.
Well, on that note, we're visiting with Greg Sankey here on Sports Talk. At the University of Tennessee, those things don't happen without the funds coming in. And Danny White, that is one area he's done well, but pretty much everything is going so well with all of the postseason success, the national championship now. Talk about what Danny White has done for the University of Tennessee and also your relationship in working with him in many of the issues in college athletics.
Right. Well, I've been impressed. I'll start at the very top. Chancellor Plowman and the leadership she's provided, and navigating some challenging times, kind of walking in right before COVID. We walked through COVID, through coaching change, bringing Danny in. And bring in a time where he saw an opportunity, and she and those around here saw what he had done at Central Florida and at Buffalo before. And so there's an energy there. All of our athletics directors, I think I have a great relationship with. They have their issues that they deal with on a day-to-day basis. I have mine. I think you've seen the vision that he's communicated, the energy that I spoke of earlier that he's brought to fulfill that vision, the high expectations that have been established, and now most recently in baseball being fulfilled. I stood by him in Josh's first game, and he described Josh's approach, and I've been fascinated watching, and I think that first year even, the way Josh built momentum into that football program, the speed and the pace at which they operate, and he's continued to build upon that. And Rick was there before, but Rick's responded well. You wanted to ascend that mountaintop so greatly, and Karen's team was at the top of our league in softball. And I go through all of these, so I'll stop going through all the sports. You see that expectation of excellence, of achievement that I think Danny communicates. That's an important and strong leadership trait, but he's also made sure there's support connected to those expectations. You don't just want expectations without the support. I think he's done an outstanding job of combining both, and that set up the program, the University of Tennessee program, for those meeting those expectations.
No doubt. On the way out, 17 completed summer reading books. Is that right? Is that where you're at right now?
I'm actually so I have a couple that I haven't posted just because there's enough going on. So I'm on number 20 right now. Great. So I've got a couple in the queue that I'll hit send on. Trying to get to 25. So my summer reading program is the end of softball to Labor Day. Summer starts a little bit later and goes a little bit later, but that's when travel kind of cranks up. I find some time. There's a couple of breaks. Our Destin meeting and media days, I don't get the chance to read what I want to read, but this weekend, part of my decompression will be to dig back in.
Very good. So impressive. Thanks for the time, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thanks for being in Dallas.
That is Greg Sankey, the Commissioner of the Southeastern Conference, here on Sports Talk 99.1, the Sports Animal.